Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, College Podcast. I know it's been about 2 weeks. We are back. We are good and well. Yeah, let's get into it. Javaris here at Stackz and Javaris.
What's
Forever in the
happening?
building, my brother. What's going on?
Can't call it. Can't call it.
Yeah, man. Look,
Crazy 2 weeks in college football,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I did celebrate a birthday, so that was the first week while we were out, and then the second week, our boy wasn't feeling too hot, so we just had to take a little break, take a little breather, but we're back ready for action and ready to get things going and moving. So yeah, man, episode 9 is finally here, and we're back and ready again. Like I said, ready to rock and roll. So real quick, brother, let me ask you this for top stories, right? Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let's get this. Hold on. I gotta. 1 second. 1 second. All right, there we go. We good. We good. Okay. All right. You still good on your end? You good?
I'm great. I'm
All
great.
right. Cool. All right, bro. Top stories since we've been gone. 3 head coaches in the SEC have been fired. 3. Brian Kelly from LSU, Billy Napier from Florida, and just as a recent, it finally happened, my brother. Hugh Freeze is out of Auburn.
Yep. Yeah. The freeze warning is over. It never got cold.
The
Never
freeze
got
warning
cold.
is over. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They kept warning us that freeze was coming, and it stayed hot.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I mean, all 3 of these firings, you kind of see the writing on the wall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, all of the firings except for one, you could say that you saw it coming, but kind of sort of it's like, I like the James Franklin one is the one I'm talking about. That one was one where it was like he could have stayed and it been still fine because he was still winning. It just was not that year this year. But these 3 right here,
yeah,
um, it's time. I mean,
over
Auburn,
overdue.
Auburn. I mean, you can't be Hugh Freeze. You in the off season, you were golfing a whole lot. You didn't do anything, and then the offense is sputtering, and you're supposed to be an offensive minded guy, and you were calling the plays. You didn't want to relinquish your play calling duties. You know what I'm saying, and just be a head coach. So I mean, you've chosen 2 poor quarterbacks, or you've chosen one quarterback that was mistake prone, and you chose another quarterback that is scared to throw the ball down the field, and you have done nothing to rebuild the offensive line.
Yeah.
You know, you got receiving core, we got receivers, but it don't make no sense to have all those elite speedsters, elite pass catchers, route runners, if you have no quarterback and you have a line that is up and down. It's not gonna work. And you don't run the ball. You're scared to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I mean I'm a lot of I'm part of a lot of Auburn pages, and a lot of them said that they think that we should have been patient because we were close, because we almost won a lot of games, but almost don't cut it. Like, I mean, first season you win 7 games, the next season you win 5, and then this season you're on pace to win 5 games, if that. So um everybody's ready to win now. I mean, and compete. So um I think it was time, because it wasn't getting better. Like, I can understand, like, if first year you won 7 games, second year you won 8, or second year you won 7, and you got some of those big wins, like you might have upset a Georgia, or whoever else, or Oklahoma or something like that, and you just had some hiccups here and there, but it's not getting better in the sense of uh wins. Like, the
Mm-hmm.
defense, this is the best defense I can honestly say that we've had in a long time. You know,
Yeah.
and like, our defense has yet to let up 24 points, and we're still losing. So and you're an offensive minded guy. Like I understand, like if you were a defensive minded coach and the offense was sputtering a little bit, you know, then that would be like, okay, now you need to get rid of your offensive coordinator, you know. But you're the guy. You're offensive minded. You're calling the plays, you know. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just time. It was just time. I don't know who we get next, but whoever it is, they need to be a great recruiter, understand the SEC. Um, I personally think this time around we should get a defensive minded coach and hire a great offensive coordinator. I
Yeah.
hope we retain DJ Durkin in some type of capacity, whether it be um, defensive coordinator still or whatever, because he's done a great job of recruiting and getting those boys to play. Because we're deep on the defensive end, you know. For still some hiccups, but they make them boys make plays, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just time. I mean, we couldn't develop a quarterback. You know, nobody addressed the offensive line. Um, Only thing we addressed was our receiver. That's the best receiver core we've had at Auburn in years. So it's just time. It was just time. And Billy Napier, I mean, we obviously know how that train is going. Um, had he beat Georgia, I mean, no, he wasn't even the coach for Georgia at Florida at that time. So no. So I mean, that Florida team almost beat Georgia too. So without him. So you know what I'm saying? So you obviously see the talent there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you can't have big programs like that, like Auburn and Florida and all of that, and you're in the SEC and you're competing with these big teams, and your history is winning, and your history you've had championships, you've had this, and you don't compete at all. Like you don't, your offense looks that bad. Like you know what I'm saying. Like yet you're still in the game. Like offense is scoring one to two touchdowns a game. That's not gonna cut it. Like you know, I can understand if it was just one game, two games that y'all had, you know, bad, you know, offensive production, but every game except for the first game of the season, you know. So,
I wanna, I
um,
wanna, I wanna piggyback off of you, and there was an obvious issue in Auburn because you made a point with, just at how many points per game that Auburn was scoring. It really it's really crazy to me how you guys kept up with us almost a month ago now, um, when Auburn and Georgia played, but you could only score 3 points against Kentucky, and it's just kind of wild to me how an offense that could potentially be very high powered in the SEC with just the talent that you guys have, 3 points. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I
and
mean,
if you want to be technical, like we only scored one touchdown against Georgia. Our defense, you know,
yeah,
was, and
that,
I can't get mad at the defense in that game
mhm,
because, um, it's hard to play defense and to continue to stop the offense from scoring, and then your offense doesn't do their job. Like it's hard. Like yes, it's a pride thing. Like you don't want them to score, but it's like you're always on the field, so you're getting worn down. You're making stops, but it's like at some point it's gonna break. Like you know what I'm saying? I mean, like just with Georgia, same thing. Like the defense might hold or whatever, the offense sputters, you know, and the defense might break. Like this past weekend, the Georgia Florida game. Like you know what I'm saying? But then when the offense scores, that gives the defense life. It's like okay, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. If you go out here and you score seven, I will hold them. Like you know what I'm saying? But to ask your defense to carry an entire game against teams that have decent offenses and high powered offenses, it's not gonna work. Like they can only hold for so long. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Legs get tired, you get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's too much talent. Like we've got speed on the receiving core. We've got size. We've got route runners. I mean, Cam Coleman, dog.
Yeah,
We got Singleton, fast dog. I mean, we
but
got
y'all don't
Perry.
utilize them.
Perry. Like, I mean, we do, but like, there's plays ran for them, but the quarterback can't get the ball off. The
Yeah.
quarterback doesn't get the ball off when he has time. He won't push the ball down the field. You won't run the ball, and you
Mm.
finally started running the ball now. You know what I'm saying? Against Kentucky, he had 16 carries, but that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you not like, at least have a balance, or if the run game's working, go to the run game. I mean, like, and then to me, like this past weekend with Kentucky, like him switching the quarterbacks in and out, that was terrible.
Mm.
Terrible. Like, I mean, I get it, you were looking for a spark, but that's not, no, like, we've seen what Jackson Arnold can do. We know what he's gonna do. Like, he's
Mm.
not a push the ball time down the field type of guy right now, for whatever reason that might be. Um,
Yeah.
do I think he's good? I think he has the potential to be great. He throws a beautiful ball, has a strong arm. He's very accurate. He doesn't make the mistake. He knows how to. To me, I think he knows how to read a defense. I just think he's afraid of making a mistake. You know, and if you're a quarterback guy or offensive minded guy, you got to understand and learn how to get your quarterback out of that. Like,
Hmm.
I spend more time with him. Like, get into his head, like figure out what he's seeing, what he's thinking when all that's going on. And then if you're gonna bench him, bench him. Like, I don't think, like, because I think, I think you starting to back up, because he's a better runner, obviously, more efficient runner, and he works the pocket very well and everything like that. You've got to have a game plan for him.
Right.
Like, and you've got to stick with him, because you pull him. Now his energy, now you got two quarterbacks whose egos are shot.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I mean, you want to compete. You want to always have your starter knowing that I have to play good or else I'm gonna get benched. You know what I'm saying? But to bench your starter, put your backup in, you're not getting the spark, then put your starter back in, then pull him out again, and like, that's not to me, that's not winning. Like, I understand, like, if you had a package, designed for them, like how Cam had with Florida back in the day, like, or how, certain quarterbacks that are still learning the system or whatever have a certain package, like, they might be a better run. I can understand that, but for you to call upon them when it's crunch time, like, you got to trust your starter to go out there and make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
I think he knew the writing was on the wall. Um, I personally think that the AD should have been the one that got fired. Because I personally, you heard it here first, or maybe you heard it somewhere else. I think fire the AD, bring Bruce Pearl in as the AD. I think that would make a lot of things great. Because Bruce Pearl understands sports. He understands the dynamic of NIL because he had a team. He was the coach there. He stepped away from his duties for whatever reason, but he still wants to be a part of Auburn, in some type of capacity. He understands Auburn. He understands recruiting. He understands you have to get it right. Like, so that's what I personally think. But I'm not mad at that they moved on from Hugh Freeze. But whoever they get now has to be right, because we can't fire another coach. Luckily the buyout was not crazy expensive. It was only, what, 16 million. You
Listen, at
know.
least you're not in a position like I want to say I think it's what school is I want to say it's LSU. LSU is still paying. I know they're still paying Ed Orgeron, and it's somebody else. I think they're still paying three head coaches.
Yeah, I mean, we're paying Brian Harson off. I mean,
Brian
but that
Harsin.
wasn't a big payout. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That was the payout for that was 15 million.
Hmm.
I think they were still paying Gus Malzahn. That was the bigger buyout, but compared to other schools, like Brian Kelly had a big payout, buyout or whatever, and James Franklin big buyout, so um. And I know they have the money to do that type of stuff, but I'm just saying, like, you can't keep, like, I'm gonna say this again. Thank the high heavens that you guys have had the luck of having two good coaches.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't had to go far. Like, one coach picked up right where the other coach left off and took it further. Like, be grateful that you had that security.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you hadn't had to go through a major rebuild. Like, you hadn't had to experience that because it's tough. It's tough building a program back up. You know, it's one thing to build a program up, but to build a program back up to greatness from what they were at, and then having to, man, it's a lot. Like Brian Harsin set us back a while because he didn't recruit well. Um, yeah, he didn't do a lot of things well. Hugh Freeze was getting the recruits back together, but the offense just wasn't doing what it's supposed to do. I
Mm-hmm.
think we need somebody that now that understands the landscape of NIL now, the landscape of how offensive run now, and how to develop a freaking quarterback. That is the main thing because Auburn has not developed a quarterback. Even with Bo Nix, like Bo Nix had the potential to be great. We just could not develop him into what he eventually became. He
Mm-hmm.
had to go elsewhere under another coach and Dan Lanning to develop like that. Um and but yeah, I mean we've had great players, we had decent quarterbacks come through. I just think that they weren't developed correctly. But whoever takes it over it's gotta be right. It's gotta be the right fit. I don't know if that's DJ Durkin, I don't know. But whoever it is, needs to understand that hey, we are ready to get this thing now. And I mean, that's a lot to ask of a coach, but Vanderbilt, and Indiana has shown that you can right the ship in a year or two. You know, getting the right personnel, understanding that you have to get a less sought after guy, that has heart or players that are talented but maybe overlooked a little bit, or like you have the right guy, like even with Nick Saban when he was there, he got 5 stars, absolutely, but he got the right 5 stars. He got 5 stars that were hungry, and then he showed them like you got to earn your spot every time. Like it's more than that, and those guys carried that over not only to the NFL but in life. Like every player that came through there, like they tell you all the time. They say it all the time. Like he built work ethic and nothing's given. Like Kirby, same way. You know. So um yeah. So I mean, we just got to figure out. I don't know who we're gonna get. I just hope that we finish out this season strong. If we could beat Bama, that'll make a lot of things a little bit better. But
Mm-hmm.
we already got a tough task in trying to beat this Vanderbilt team.
Yeah.
So
I mean and I mean that's one player who, as far as Diego Papia, who really has Auburn's number. I mean, seeing him this will be his fourth time, but I definitely would love to talk about that, a little later on in the show because that is definitely going to be a hot topic for sure. But didn't want to tarry too long on top stories. Yeah, like we said, Brian Kelly is now out. Also, LSU AD Scott Woodward was fired as well. And ironically enough, that decision came from Louisiana's governor. He not only was he instrumental in uh, Brian Kelly, but he was like, "Hey, the AD got to go too." That's two head coaches that we've had that you've hired, and they have just absolutely done nothing with this program. So the AD got the boot too. So the other
J-
top story that we had was Nebraska. Dylan Rayola is out for the season with a broken fibula, so sending prayers for a successful and full recovery for him. Yeah, but we said 2 weeks ago, man. Once the first few firings happen within college football, that when that magical switch turns on for the coaching carousel, it gets very wild. But these are firings that we've been suspecting for the last few years. So I mean, I'm not even in a bit surprised that these guys are now out. It's kind of overdue, in my opinion. It's kind of crazy that for Billy Napier to get a win in his departure. But hey, man, Florida said they're ready to turn their.
Nah, I mean, but it looked like too late. A little too late. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
'cause, I mean, you should have did this earlier.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed. Agreed.
it's business. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
these colleges they want to be back. Like, especially you got a program like a Florida, like a LSU, who are like championship contenders, has a different type of pedigree. Like Auburn is a little newer to the winning. Like we've been snubbed a few times, like in 2003 and all that type of stuff. But we're newer to the winning pedigree. Like we got Cam, we won. We had Nick Marshall. We made it to the national championship and lost to a unbelievable Florida State team with Jameis Winston and all of them. But that was, again, 2010, 2014, the areas, so we're newer to that process of being dominant, but we're ready to be on top. Like we're ready to be one of those teams to say, hey, we can compete with anybody and then back it up and actually compete with everybody and win some of these games. Because honestly, we should have been in a better position to beat Georgia. Like, I say that we would have beat them? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm saying that was a game that we could have won. Oklahoma. I mean, the list goes on. Honestly, we should really only have one loss on our record, two at the
Mhm.
most. You know, just based off of how everything was going. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as those games. Um, but it didn't go that way. And it's kind of been the same way ever since Freeze was hired and before he was hired.
Mhm.
So and even well, I mean, go back to Gus. I mean, Gus was still making bowl games. He didn't have a 5-win season. He was always making bowl games, and he made a national championship appearance. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they do from here, but definitely need an offensive coordinator. Definitely need a good head coach that understands everything about the NIL, the recruiting, and putting and getting the quarterback and getting the offensive line. So
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
and no, do not hire Cadillac Williams as a head coach. No. I just want to put that out there. I love Cadillac to death. I love everything that he stands for. I love him as a player. I love him, loving Auburn. But he's not ready to take on that task. He's never been a head coach before. He's only been a position coach. We need somebody with experience that understands that is not afraid of the board. That go in like, look, if you're gonna hire me, you gotta let me do my thing. Like that's what, like just like Saban did, it's like Kirby did, like all these people did. Like you gotta, like what I'm saying, put your foot down, and the board need to get on board, or we gonna be back on the board for looking for a head coach again. So yeah, yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But yes, yes, yes.
You feel better now? You got that out? You
Yes,
good?
because I've been seeing like I said I'm a part of like 3 or 4 different Auburn pages, and a lot of
Yeah.
people have been saying hire Cadillac.
No.
No,
No.
you
Don't do
cannot.
that.
Like when you hired Freeze, I was like, okay, I understand his history. I know he's a winner. This, that, and
Mhm.
the third. But this, like when you hired Harsin, I was like, absolutely not. His record is great, but he's never coached in the SEC. And by all means, and by God, you have to understand the SEC to compete. Kalen DeBoer find that out quick. Like, what I'm saying, last year. And once he realized it and he learned it, what I'm saying, now he's got Bama, back being Bama. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because he took it lightly last year. Like, he was, underestimating the crowds, underestimating the teams. You know what I'm saying? Now he gets it. Like he got that hit in the face, and he turned that switch on. You know,
Yep.
so you got to get this hire right. You got to get this hire right. You
I
got
agree.
to.
I agree.
And now
I
the
agree.
portal is in your favor because they can't transfer to a coach's his name to give the coach a chance, which I love because everybody would have jumped in the portal. So you got to get it right so that we don't, you know what I'm saying, so we can retain a lot of our roster and that we can go into this next season next year with some of these same guys because we have great talent, but we have some of these same guys. We can keep our receiving core, tune up the line, keep our defensive core, um, and get a coach that actually, what I'm saying, put his foot in the ground and do some work. We need that. We need all that. So yeah.
So,
All right, now I'm done.
got you. Got you. Got you. Well, we hear you, brother. We hear you loud and clear, and glad you were able to get your get your vent session out because again it has been over 2 weeks, so it just so happened ironically this man's head coach gets fired in our 2 week vacation that we're on. So yeah, but right before we hop into our week 10 recaps, I did want to add one more headline. Alabama's defensive back Drake Kirkpatrick has been suspended from the team. He was arrested, unfortunately, for reckless endangerment and as well as one count of attempting to elude and speeding. So yeah, unfortunate to see that, especially with them about to play LSU this upcoming weekend. Yeah, super unfortunate. All right, let's get into these week 10 game recaps. We're gonna start off with SMU versus Miami. Also, let me add this with Miami. 1-2 since the last time we recorded, brother. 1-2. They lost to Louisville the week of the 17th, and then they won against Sanford. And this past weekend, they lost to
SMU.
yeah, yes, SMU. Thank you. The game that we're recapping right now. So, dude, it's kind of funny to me that people are now realizing what Georgia fans have been saying all along about Carson Beck. Like Carson Beck, he listen, like the guy can. He can play a good game, right? And when I say play a good game, like he can show for it, but in times of distress and in moments where like he is not like truly confident, it shows. And it showed in these last 3 games. Like, of course with Sanford, I mean you're supposed to be Sanford, but when you play this Louisville team, man, Louisville has been like showing up like in the last few years. Like Louisville has been one of those teams. Like Louisville is like how um, Kentucky is of the ACC. Like that is a team that can really. That's one of those sneaky teams that can really come up out of nowhere and bite you. And so they did that 2 weeks ago against Miami. But now with this SMU team, I think Kevin Jennings and Cass, man, they just they had a point to prove, and with Carson Beck being Carson Beck, the people are now starting to see what Georgia fans have been saying, like he's not that great. So, uh, yeah,
I have my
yeah.
own thoughts about it, but
That's why we're recording, sir.
well,
Let
I
us hear
mean,
it.
like because I mean, he loses to like I just it's just crazy how college football works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like NFL, like I mean, I get the difference. Before people be like, oh, where they like NFL, you have 2 bad games. Okay, you have 2 bad games. You know what I'm saying? And now get upset, but okay, you move on. Because before this, you know what I'm saying, we were praising him, talking about how good he was playing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Does he get flustered sometimes under pressure? Is he consistent as as his game? to me, his game is good. It's just as it's not as consistent as talented as he is. Like he he's a good player. He's just not consistent when it comes to like when things break down or things are not going right. Um, and that's one of them things like you have to have as a veteran. And then your coach has to be able to you know get into your mind, like what I'm saying, like what's going on, like and right those ships or whatever. But Miami has only lost 2 games, because
Yeah.
I mean, and yes, Miami had a Heisman contender last year in Cam Ward. There's a couple games in there that he probably should have been better at too. I mean, they lost what 3-4 games,
Hmm.
so uh. But nobody said much about that because of what he did prior to that. So am I saying Carson Beck is as good as Cam Ward? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is um he had 2 bad games against a hungry SMU team who was not a bad team, and against an LSU team that is hungry. I mean, not LSU, a Louisville team that is hungry. It is not a bad team. So I can understand if he lost to somebody like that was just like you weren't supposed to lose to them at all. Like they weren't supposed to even compete. Louisville is better than advertised. SMU is better than advertised. Like if you go in there slouching, you I don't care who it is, you might get punched in the mouth,
Yeah.
and you might not recover. I'm just being honest. Like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. So it's just one of those teams like where like kind of how like Auburn is when they play Bama. Like you just never know. Like you take it light you want to, then it's gonna be a long day. Like
Yeah.
and I think those 2 games, I think I think he was so focused on making the big play and not making a mistake and making sure that they won. And after them taking those 2 teams lightly because they have so much talent, I think that's what happened with those games. So I mean, to me, everything is going to determine how the season plays out. Like
Yeah.
if he balls out the rest of this season and they make playoffs and and they make a run in playoffs, all of this will be water under the bridge. And but for people to say that Georgia was suffering with them, uh, how quickly people forget how bad Georgia's offense was. Not just him, but how bad his supporting cast was outside of maybe 2 players. You know, because the year before that he was pretty darn good. Consistent, didn't throw a lot of picks, didn't do all of that. But last year, Georgia's offensive line was beat up and putrid. Receivers didn't catch balls. Y'all were first place in drop passes last year. You know, so and then you add that with the pressure of being a quarterback in at Georgia and in the SEC and at a top school.
Hmm.
So last year that I can't put that completely on him.
Yeah.
It's just the quarterback gets blamed for all of that. Receiver drops a pass, it gets picked off. Everybody blames the quarterback.
Hmm.
You know, the line plays putrid. Quarterback takes a lot of sacks. They say, "Oh, the line should have been better, but the quarterback should have figured out how to throw the ball away." This big old joker running at me. I'm like, I gotta, I what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Like, I gotta be, because if I throw it away right here and I'm not out of the pocket, and there's no receiver over there, and I can't see because it's 6'5" dude running a 4-5 at me. What I'm supposed to do? Because if I
Right.
throw it away right here and I'm not out of the pocket and there's no receiver over there, I lose 15 yards anyway. So if I take a sack right here and lose 2, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't think like that. Like, I'm not saying that he's a Heisman quarterback right now. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he doesn't have room for improvement. I'm just saying, get a man grace, God dog it. Like, you know, everything. Like, I mean, it's hard to play the quarterback position. It's hard. You know, I'm not like he could be better. Like he could be, but I'm not. I'm not saying. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's not good. I'm not
So
gonna sit here.
the only reason I'm giving him flack is because they were ranked again. They were ranked very high in the beginning of the season. There are only 12 spots in, as me and you both know, in the college football rankings.
Right,
You don't make it in those 12 spots, your season is pretty much done.
right.
Carson Beck very well could have had Miami still in those rankings today. Very well.
So,
Very well could have had them still in the rankings today. So when
so,
you fall
so
out of those, that only 12 teams make it. Only 12 teams get the golden ticket.
right.
If you're not one of those 12 teams, it's not really worth talking about anymore. And that's where Miami falls right now. They're not worth talking about anymore because they're not one of the
So you
12
think
teams.
that's all Carson Beck's fault?
I'm not saying it's all his fault,
But that's what you just said. You
but
just
but
said he could
but
have
but
had
I will
them.
say this. I will say this. I will not tolerate a teammate blaming me for mistakes that he's making, as we've seen in his latest post game press conferences. What type of responsibility are you going to take? What type
No,
of
absolute,
ownership are you
absolute,
going to take? You know?
absolutely. But I'm not attacking the person. What I'm attacking is everybody. Because did Miami did SMU not score more points than them? So that means the
Absolutely.
defense. That means the defense let up a lot more points, right?
Yes, agreed.
So so that means that, well, but nobody's talking about the defense letting up the points. You
Hmm.
know, nobody's talking about how Louisville and SMU did a lot more than what with less talent than Miami did.
Yes.
Everybody's blaming the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But when the team has success, nobody says the quarterback didn't play great. They just said team had, the team won, and we're still riding good. Like, I personally don't think that I mean, and I don't care who come at me, but I personally don't think that Georgia's quarterback is a championship style quarterback. I think he's a great game manager. I think he's a great game manager with a lot of talent around him. That's what I think. But nobody's saying how bad that his pocket awareness and this, that, and the third. Nobody's saying any of the bad things about him because they're winning, right? As a team, you know what I'm saying. But if they lose, when they lost to Bama, he didn't play great. You know what I'm saying? When they almost lost to Auburn, he didn't play great. The defense bailed him out to give him opportunities. But everybody's gonna say, "Oh, we like him more because the defense played better." You know what I'm saying? To get him those stops. Because first half he was putrid, terrible. Boy couldn't throw it in the ocean if he was sitting in there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But nobody talks about that because they won the game. Because had Miami won that game, you still talking about Carson Beck the same way? Had Miami beat Louisville and SME, or you start talking about him the same way?
No,
No,
because he still would have threw 4 interceptions
right?
that
He
game.
still no, but I'm just saying because
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of quarterbacks that throw a lot of picks but end up winning the game, and they say, "Oh
Yeah.
man." Prime example, Jameis Winston. To me, is a good quarterback, but that Joe gonna throw 30 touchdowns and he gonna throw 30 picks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I could name another one. Brett Favre threw super amount of picks, but a lot of people look at him as one of the greats because he won football games. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? When you put pressure on Brady, he collapsed, but nobody talks about that. They talk about the winning, right?
Hmm.
So, but for me personally, as a fan and as somebody that loves this game and studies this game, I look at the whole picture.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, you have to take accountability, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But the pressure is always on the quarterback. Everybody's gonna blame the quarterback. So if the quarterback says, is fed up with it, like you blaming me, but we had other opportunities that didn't go so well.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, you're a college player. Your running back is good. You're not running the ball efficiently or whatever. But you know what I'm saying. But it's the passing game fault. No, like you have to have a balance of both. That's why, you know what I'm saying, when people try to overwrite running backs, a strong run game is the foundation to open up everything else.
Hmm.
Georgia's a prime example of that. When you guys can run the ball very well, the passing games look beautiful. When you can't run the ball very well, y'all stall a lot.
Hmm.
You know? So, but nobody talks about that. You know, nobody talks about that. If the quarterback makes mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, because I mean, like even with Ohio State, their quarterback is not that great. He just has a very great supporting cast on both sides. He has great receivers, great running backs, great line, and a great defense. Nobody talked about that they didn't play super great against. You know what I'm saying? That one, well, it's a team that they didn't beat by a lot that they should have beat by a lot. Nobody talks about that because they won. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, give the man grace. I'm not saying that he's a number one pick. I'm not saying that I think he's a good quarterback. I just think that he's in a bad stretch right now because they've still only lost 2 games. They still have only lost 2 games, and they've played some very good teams. You know, some teams that well, some people may say that they were ranked too high or they shouldn't have been ranked. Like LSU is not a bad team, and they beat them if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
LSU, Miami, they haven't played LSU this year.
Who was that they played? Who did
They
they play?
they played. They
It
only
was a ranked
played.
team.
They only
It
played
was at
Notre
the
Dame.
beginning.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame at the beginning of the season.
hmm And then they
Okay.
played USF. They blew out USF. Yeah, they really haven't played anybody but Notre Dame, Louisville, and that's really it as of
Give me the
late.
teams that they played so far.
Notre
Oh, and
Dame, Bethune.
they played a Florida State team that was still only lost that one
Yeah,
game. They had
they
only lost one game.
they beat
And
they
they
beat
made that team look they helped put that team basically out of contention.
yeah, they beat them by 6. But yeah, they played Notre Dame, Bethune Cookman, USF, Florida, FSU, Louisville, Sanford, and SMU. That's
Okay,
it so
okay.
far.
But I'm just saying what I'm saying is, and that's and a lot of those games they barely won. But that's not just on Carson Beck either. That's not just on him. I mean, offensive play calling has to be great. Line has to hold up. You have everybody always says you have great receivers. You know what I'm saying? So you should be able to win. If your line doesn't hold up, it don't matter. You can have
Right.
Jesus out there. If you have no line or your line breaks down, you know what I'm saying? Anything can happen at that point. But I'm just saying, and they've only lost 2 games. In the ACC conference that's up in the air right now.
Mhm.
You know, so and we've already talked about their head coach is spotty too. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah. I mean, I don't think you write them off. Because they definitely could very well win out. You know, they could very well win out. Um, am I obviously they're not playing championship football right now. But it's only to me it's only a select few teams that are playing championship ball right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like because Georgia's number 5. They played a lot of ranked teams or whatever, but they ain't to me. They're up and down too. They don't play championship football every week. You know, they finish. They finish.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Because if the defense wouldn't have finished against Ole Miss, that's a loss. Defense wouldn't have finished against Auburn and stepped up against Auburn and made those big plays. That's a loss. And gave that offensive opportunity. That's a loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, look at the whole picture. That's all. That's all.
Brother, is your office light on?
Oh no, it got dark. It just got dark. Yeah, it just got dark. My bad. It was bright in this mug earlier, so I ain't cut it on. But now,
I'm like, it's getting progressively dark in there, and
yeah, cause they got their
I'm like,
sun, but that time went back, boy.
yeah, I'm just like, God, it has gotten progressively dark in there, and I cannot see this man. And I'm just like, is he gonna turn the light on, or is it on? Am I tripping?
Hey
But yeah,
man,
no.
about like how Auburn season went so far, just get darker and darker. God dog it, but
Oh,
golly. But
Yikes.
no, I
That,
mean, but that's my whole spiel on that. Like,
yeah.
I look at the entire picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, mistakes are gonna be made. You know what I'm saying? Stupid mistakes or whatever. You can't have that in playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not over with for them yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they pretty much got to be perfect. No, they ain't no pretty much. They got to be perfect the rest of the season. Absolutely. So it's no easy task, but it's definitely they have to be perfect the rest of the season. So
It can happen. It can happen. It can
yeah, I
happen. But
mean,
yeah.
because yeah, I mean, like it's not over with yet. I mean, you don't want to lose that late. You don't want to lose to those teams, but those teams that they lost to are not bad teams. Like they're not bad teams. Like they're not. And not at all. SMU last year was in the playoffs. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like they're not bad teams, and they're very good coached teams. They're a well coached team. You can have an average team if they're well coached. It's a whole different ball game.
Right.
Whole different ball game. You know.
Agreed.
You
Yeah.
know.
Agreed.
Vanderbilt the first year that Poppy was there, they were an average team coming into the season, but they are very well coached, very well coached. You know,
Yeah.
so and then they turned it around. You know, this year, so it's Miami. I think Miami is not. It doesn't look pretty, but Ohio State lost 2 games last year. You know what I'm saying, and they ended up winning the national championship.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Well, yeah, man. We we're gonna speed things up. We still got a lot of show left, but Vandy, Texas. So again, this game, man, this game ended in another 3 point finish. As if you remember last year, this game ended 48-45. I'm sorry, 27-24 Texas. This year it ended 45-48 Texas. Like that just shows that the way that this Vandy team fights through, man, it's ridiculous. It's really insane
I
how
kind of
this
gotta
Vandy team is playing.
I gotta say fight for Texas too, because
Hmm.
Texas got darn welcome to college football now.
Yeah.
Texas,
I'm
this
sorry,
is the best
31-34.
offensive showing.
Why did I say 48-45? It was 31-34. But yeah,
I'm just
either
saying
way,
what
3 points. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like Texas quarter the play was a little better. Like I was saying,
Hmm.
like offense was moving.
Yeah.
Like like I mean that's what we wanted to see. Like so,
Hmm.
welcome to college football, Texas. You finally
Yeah.
arrived.
Yeah. I mean, Arch looked. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see from Arch, man. I mean, you could tell that brother.
And same thing. What we just
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah, he was
How
down
he
in
didn't.
though, but he was down in. He was. I mean, you could really see a different composure. Like he was ready to stop the
That's what I'm
chatter. Like
saying.
that's.
Because he
Yeah.
had Sark got in him and
Yeah.
sat with him. I'm sure Sark
Yeah.
got with him, talked to him, got it together. You know what I'm saying? And they are still in a good position to do something. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're still in a good position to do something. That's
Hmm.
what I'm saying. The same thing with that. Like yes, Beck is a vet, but I'm just saying. I just wanted to use that reference that
Yeah.
you know just because there's bad play here and there or whatever,
Hmm.
it's not over yet. Like, give these jokers some grace. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give them grace. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I ain't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off.
But no, no, no. I was just saying, man. Like I again, he. It was a different Arch Manning this past Saturday.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
it didn't look like the quarterback that looked like he was nervous, like he was out of his element, like he
Right.
showed up. I mean, it looked like he was really excited to be back home. Like in the home stadium, playing in front of the Texas faithful. So, that's what we've been wanting to see from Arch, man. Like Arch is a good quarterback, and I mean, he could live up to the potential in the name that he has. Just do it. Like block out the noise, man. Block out everything that these people are saying about you. Just go play. Just play. I mean, he could very well be a Heisman contender going into next season if he chooses to return. I think he has still eligibility, so he will be returning. But yeah, man,
No,
we can't.
he's not. He's the way this season. He's not going to the
Yeah,
draft.
so he'll be
Not
back.
this
So
season.
yeah, man, he could very well be in the conversation for
Yeah.
Heisman next year. If he continue plays playing like he played last Saturday, yeah, I don't see a reason
Yeah,
why.
yeah. We got to
Yeah,
remember this is his first year as the guy.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
So don't, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? It takes time, bro. Like
Yeah.
like every quarterback, it don't hit them right away. Like that pressure, like you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's football, but it's the same game. It's faster,
Yeah.
and you got all this noise. You know what I'm saying? Coming from everywhere. Everybody don't deal with that well. Or, you know what I'm saying, if they don't deal with it well at first, you have to adjust.
Mhm.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure, man.
I mean,
That's a lot of pressure.
this man came out the very first play of the game, launching that thing
Right.
like
Right. And that
launching
shows
it.
the trust that Sark has in him.
Yeah,
You know, and that's what you want.
75 yard touchdown to Ryan Wingo, man, and I mean that's what you want. That's what you want. So yay Texas has to play Georgia in 2 weeks, man. Now, do I think the outcome is going to be Texas's way? No, of course not. I'm a Georgia fan, but I definitely think it'll be a very much more competitive game, especially after last year where you see a team twice. I think it'll be a lot more competitive than what we're accustomed to. So we'll see though. But yeah, man, Vandy plays. Vandy plays. I just saw it. They play y'all this week.
Yep.
That's what we just talked about. Yeah, we have those. We have y'all in the preview. That's right. And Texas has a bye week. So yeah. So yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, I kinda hate that. I kinda hate that for Texas. Like you just
yeah,
started getting your momentum, like you riding high for a big win like that against a ranked opponent, high
yeah.
scoring,
It's
and now
unfortunate.
you got a bye week. But
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
unfortunate,
that
but
gives them
hey, I
time
mean
to
they
prepare for the big dog. Come, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. Exactly. And luckily for Georgia, we play a Mississippi State team who we should be able to hopefully get things together, like last year where things started to just crumble at the last second. And but yeah, so Texas gets a bye and Georgia gets a tune up game to just make sure all the things are right for that. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out in 2 weeks. But yeah, all right. Next game is Oklahoma and Tennessee, man. Apparently after this game, people are people are ready to put Josh Heupel in the hot seat, and I'm just like, for what though? Like, I don't think Josh Heupel should be in the hot seat. Like, could a conversation be had? Yes, but like,
They just getting his seat ready
yeah, they're getting the seat
because
ready. That's fine. We can get the seat
here's why
ready.
though. Here's why. Tennessee is
Okay.
fed up with losing to Georgia, with having these high powered offenses and having all this talent
Yeah.
and still not getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like prime example, last year they had all the talent, they were cooking, and then you know what I'm saying, and then the year before that, cooking. You know what I'm saying? Started off hot, you know, beat some solid teams, and kaput. And
Mhm.
then the year before that, they had high hopes. They beat Bama. They beat you know what I'm saying. They beat all these good teams, and then come to Georgia and kaput. Like they are Tennessee fans. If you want to talk about a team that's close, Tennessee is right there. Like they're right there. A
Mhm.
few potential plays away from being elite. Like I mean, had Georgia on the ropes, should have beat them, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, competing there, like they're putting up points. It's not like they're stalling. They're putting up points.
Yeah.
They can't finish.
And I
You
mean
know,
Joey Aguilar, 393 passing yards, man, three touchdowns. Like, if anything, Tennessee, Tennessee, statistically, Tennessee won this game by no question. Tennessee won this game statistically speaking, but I think Oklahoma just got in positions where they just came in clutch, and I mean that Tennessee defense just could not compete with it. I mean, shoot, Oklahoma's kicker. Um, Sandell, whatever it is, three 350 yard plus field goals, bro. 3. That man almost kicked his leg off.
Huh.
50 plus yards is insane. So, like, there has to be a wake up call soon for Tennessee. And like you said, they're right there because, dude, they were sitting at 14 when they played Oklahoma last week. 2 more spots, and they're in the top 12. You know what I'm saying? So, also, with the first ranking coming out on Tuesday, um, it you never know how the rankings could shake up. So we could very well see Tennessee at 14 right now, and then they somehow bump into the top 12. So, um, yeah, man, that's just how the way the world is rocking right now, especially going into instead of the top 25, we're just worried about what the top 12 is looking like right now. So, but yeah,
But
that
at the end
is
of the season,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what.
We are definitely at the back half of the season, man. So that's just how the dice rolls, and
Yeah, you only got what 4 more weeks. Only
yeah,
got 4 more weeks.
yeah, hmm
Last game of the season, Thanksgiving. So
yeah, yeah. Rivalry week is Thanksgiving week. Yes, you're absolutely correct. All right, last one. For the recap, Georgia, Florida, man,
what a game!
what a
This is
game!
this is how
What a
this is
game!
how Georgia Florida is supposed to
What a
feel.
game! What a game!
Regardless
What
of
a
the
game!
outcome or who you was rooting
Yeah.
for, this is how this game is supposed to feel come game time. Now,
hmm
before the game, you can say Georgia's supposed to blow out Florida, Florida's supposed to blow out Florida, whatever. But this game is supposed to be a fight like this. Like
Yes.
it's supposed to be. And in recent years, it hasn't been as energetic. But this game, yeah, it came down to some questionable calls. But nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah.
But that tells me that Florida has the talent. They just need the direction. That's it. Meaning,
Yeah.
they need the coaches to direct and get them right where they need to be because they have the talent. Yeah. This was a good game for both sides. I mean, uh, eventually Georgia's luck's gonna run out with these with these
It
close
was.
with these close games and these close
Listen.
calls. But you live to fight another day. I mean, at the end
Yeah.
of the day, whether you thought it was a catch by Florida, for one, let me say this before I even get into that play. Uh, Lagway, sometimes you got to understand the situation, right? It's fourth and four. I watched that play 1,000,005 times. It's 4th and 4. You do not scan the field at all, right? You see the player way downfield and decide to launch it because you see him by himself. You had somebody in the flat by themselves. All you needed was 4 yards to keep the drive alive. That's it. At this point, you just need to keep the drive alive. You don't have to hit the home run play. You don't. You got to understand. It's 4th and 4. It's 4th and 4. All you need is 4 yards. The game is on the line, and you can potentially upset your rival in Georgia, and let people know that you guys are talented to compete with anybody.
Mhm.
You have a player to your right side in the flat. It was not a Georgia player 10 yards in front of him. He could at least got the first down, got out of bounds, or potentially more.
Mhm.
So you have to understand that is my only thing that I want to say first about that play. You got to get the check down. Because you get 5 yards, that's a first down, you got a new set of downs. Now you cooking with grease. Now you can do some things. Now you got more way to open up the playbook. Because you got a fresh set of downs, you don't turn it over right there and give Georgia, all that momentum.
Yeah.
So that's first. Now to the play and the pass. Bad pass, because it was short. But it's questionable. Because when I saw the replay and I saw all the different angles, to me, it looks like he got his arms under it. That's what I, because I mean, there was a play where Georgia caught a pass and it was a little shaky, but they called it a catch. Um, to me, it looked like a catch, but you know, you don't have to be put in that situation if you check the ball down and just get the first down. Stop looking for the home run play every time. If it's there, it's there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't push the ball down the field, but understand the situation. You take what the defense gives you. They gave you the check down. All you needed was 4. Could have got 5. You could have potentially got the same amount of yards that you was gonna get with the deep ball because there was not a player 10 yards in front of that guy in the flat.
Yeah.
And but I'm not saying that he would have, but I'm saying there was potential there. Instead of throwing the ball that deep, you know what I'm saying? He's by himself, yes, but that ball had to be very accurate. You know what I'm saying? Because of how far he was. He's by
Right.
himself. So, you don't want to leave anything to chance in that moment.
Mhm.
But to me, it looked like a catch. But there's nothing you can do about that now. Take what you can. Florida played good. You know, they competed. To me, they looked the best they've looked all year. Um, and I'm not trying to say that it's Billy Napier or not or whatever, but to me, they look the best they have all year. And yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you kind of got to live with those results. I mean, because even if they come back and say yes, it was a catch. There's nothing they're gonna do but issue an apology. Trust me, I know.
And
But
permanently suspend the referee.
right, right. So no, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But only
Yeah.
thing I can say that you could have done is a check down right there in the flat. Like if you go look at that, I looked at that play so many times. I'm like, bro, why he didn't just look to his right? Because the pressure wasn't there. Like it was no
Yeah.
pressure. You
Yeah.
know, because they were protecting downfield. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to get the downfield. So there was nobody, you know what I'm saying, within 10 yards of that guy.
Yeah.
You get that
I
five
agree.
yards, man. I'm not saying you win the game. I'm not saying, but it gives you a chance. You get the 5 yards. You get 5 yards. It's a first down. Potentially more than that. But you don't want to leave that a chance. And if you're gonna throw that ball, my God, you better make it accurate. You know what I'm saying? And kudos to that receiver from Florida for giving it a chance, coming back to that ball. To me, again, like I said, I thought his hands was under there, but
it could
you know,
have it could have been very pivotal into how that game would have resulted. Like
right, right, right.
they were definitely if it was a catch, it would have they would have been in red zone. And I mean the way that Jaden
It
Ball
was
was
a
running the ball, man,
it
it
was a
was
big it was
40.
a big it was a big opportunity to you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying, do what you needed to do. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
Jaden Ball.
I watched it, but I didn't watch it because you know what I'm saying, I was at a concert, but I was still peeping in on it. But
Yeah,
like I said, like you know, like that play, like to me, it still was good eyes to see that he was open. Like I mean, I get what you're trying to do. You see him wide open. That's potentially game changing because you know he catches that ball, comes down with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether if it's in stride or he catches it with room to run, that's potentially a touchdown. You know, and then even with the short pass, if he caught that, he's calling a catch that sets them up in field goal range or close to it. You know, because I
right.
don't remember what yard line he was on or whatever, but I know that would have flipped the field.
Yeah,
But you got it, and that goes to show, you know what I'm saying, the youngness in his game too, meaning at this level because it's 4th and 4. You scan the field, like okay, you see him open, yes, but you need 4 yards. Either you run for those 4 yards, which he could have, but I don't want you to do that because you know Georgia's defense is fast. Get it out to your flat. You got the speed. Just get it to the flat. That's 5 yards, first down. Doesn't flip the field, but it gives you a chance. And the way you guys were moving the ball, you could have run dang near anything at that point. Because the clock is on your side. You know, you got fresh downs. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of, you know, you've been cooking, but I think that's a learning moment for them, especially for Lagway. You know, because he's gonna come back and watch the film if he hasn't already, and he's gonna see, oh, I thought that was a catch. I seen him open, but I did have Buddy in the flat. I mean, he was doing jumping jacks over there. Looked like bro, he was. You know what I'm saying? He was by himself. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I could go out there and run 5 yards. You know what I'm saying? If a defender 10 yards away from me, and I ain't ran on no field in forever. But I'm just saying,
Right.
like, that's how much space to me it seemed like they had. You know, but you know.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at him for making that. We're trying to make that play. You just trying to give your team life. You trying to give your team a spark. It's been a rough season. You in the midst of knocking off your rival and the number 5 team in the nation. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
And I mean that would have been a poetic way to close out because you know
right.
they went into
That would
Jacksonville.
have had people like that would have been good momentum going into the rest of the season and starting next year because it's
Yeah.
like. Now you got bragging rights, regardless if Georgia go on to win the championship, bro. We beat y'all and we was terrible. You know, we got bragging rights. You say, well, we won this, we've been dominating the series, but guess what? We won this year and we was
Yeah.
terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a lot from winning those games. But like I said, I think it was a very very coachable moment, a big moment for him to learn and grow. You know, I personally think that he's going to be a problem next year if he just does decide to stay after they name a coach and everything. But
Yeah.
because I mean he's not a bad quarterback by no stretch. I just think he was in a bad situation. You know, we've seen how good he can be. You know, um, in Florida, I mean some of these games they're not getting blown out. They're holding their weight. You know, so yeah.
Uh,
And some, I'm
yeah.
saying in some of these games that you thought they would have gotten blown out, you know, with like I think when they played Miami, you thought they were going to get blown out in that, and they were still knocking at the door because the defense was playing lights out. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So I mean, in some of these games that they should have. No, don't get me wrong, they lost a few games that they should have blown people out by. But I'm just saying, like, you see the potential there. That's all I'm saying. Like. Florida is a prime example of a team being better than what their record states. You know,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
talent
yeah, for sure.
wise,
Yeah.
not numbers wise, but talent wise. Like the defense, they have good players. They have good players on offense. Like Florida's always gonna have speed because the state of Florida has speed.
Yeah.
That's been like that forever. You know what I'm saying? But it just showed to me that's one team that is better than what their record shows. Like I think Auburn is like that on the defense and receivers, but but I think Florida is definitely a great example of you can have a lot of talent and still be terrible if the head is not right, meaning the head coach is
Yeah.
not right.
And it's funny you say that because they Florida actually has a very tough battle this weekend at
Oh, they
7:30.
Bruh. I want anybody that clowns Florida. I want y'all to go ahead and have that schedule that they had this year and see if you would have came out clean with it.
Well,
Like
hold on. The battle that they have is against another 3-5 opponent, Kentucky.
no, well I mean Kentucky is one of those teams that's one of those inconsistent teams. You know,
Right.
and this year,
Right.
this year, I'm not saying that game. I'm just saying look at their resume from this year. Like look at who they've had to play. They've had what the second hardest schedule in all of college
Yeah.
football. With as far as like I mean, some of the teams that were ranked, you know what I'm saying, when they played them, you know, they're not. They might not be as good now or whatever. But up until that point, they were. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, look at who all they played. Like that's not easy at all. And then you for you to have play those type of teams and for your head coach not to be right, yeah, and all of that, man, that's I challenge anybody, Ohio
Yeah,
State, Georgia, anybody to have that same exact schedule and come out unscathed, or to you know what I'm saying, put up that fight. Now I'm not saying that they would have had the same record. I'm just saying that's tough. That's tough. That's very tough. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So that's I can't blame all that record on just them being trash or nothing like that. They had some tough
Well, I
teams
mean,
they had to play
if
against.
you wanna see a game of hey, turn on to SEC Network at 7:30. And you can watch
No,
Florida
absolutely
Kentucky.
not. I'm bro. I'm an Auburn fan in 2025. I've
I'm not
seen
talking
two
about you. I'm
two.
talking about people who
I'm
are
saying you.
interested in it.
No. Anybody interested in the two trash can
There are
teams playing?
people who may watch us that are interested in that game,
They want to
Stackz.
see Florida. They might want to see Florida, but ain't nobody. That's why
But
it's a. If a game is on SEC Network, they don't think it's gonna be have a lot of views.
obviously, if it's at 7:30, it might. Well, nah,
No,
because you
they
got the ACC game
no.
at 7:30. So never
Jokers
mind.
be
Never
sleep,
mind. You're
and
right.
then Jokers be
Yeah, you're
watching them
right.
other games.
You're
If
right.
it's on SEC Network at whatever time, especially at 7:30, that means that only the fans of those teams are gonna watch that. Nobody else.
Yeah.
And even
Also,
the fans might not watch it.
and you know what's crazy? A lot of us can't watch it because guess what? We got YouTube TV.
Yep.
Fix it. Get it
Yep.
right now. Fix it. All right, let's hop over to it gets to a point. It gets to a point where firing your coach isn't fixing your program; it's exposing it. Would either LSU, Florida, or Auburn, in this case, would all of them actually give a young coach, a young unproven coach like a offense coordinator, defense coordinator, whatever type of personnel coach, a real chance, or is it big name or bust from here on out?
I think it's track record of bust. Track record of
Mm.
bust. Because
So it could really be either young or old, is what you're saying.
doesn't matter. Like, we've seen young coaches, we've like at the top level and at college. Like, I mean, because let's break it down. Lane Kiffin was a unproven coach. That was a coordinator, and he's got his team rolling the last few years. Kirby was an unproven coach. That was a coordinator, and we've seen how Georgia's been dominant. Indiana's head coach, he was a coordinator, and we've seen how he's done in Indiana. Um, I mean, the list can go on.
You just named
Sarkeesian.
almost every coach out of Nick Saban's coaching tree.
Well, that's because for one, if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. One thing that Saban was good at, he was good at a lot of things, but one thing he was good at is seeing talent, and that's not just
Yeah,
players,
agree.
that's in coaches
Absolutely.
as well. You know what I'm saying? So I can't help it that the top teams, that most of the top teams or the good teams came from him. That just shows how great he was. Like, I can't stand Bama. I can't stand Bama with a passion. But I would be stupid and uncredible if I didn't say that Saban wasn't great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Saban came in there and told them folks, like, look, let me run my program.
Yeah.
Anybody that got the nerve to tell the board of trustees and all of that, hey, look here, you ain't gonna tell me who I can start. You're not gonna tell me who I can recruit. You're not gonna tell me this. If you're gonna do that, I'm not taking the job. And look where they got him. It got him the
Okay.
GOAT status. You know, so I'm just saying, like, do they take a chance on one? I don't know. Just because the culture right now, everybody's ready to win. You know, and nobody the coaches now don't have the luxury of time, because it's two ways to look at it. Some say you have NIL now. Pay
Mm.
your players, buy a roster, win games, right? Ohio State did it. They spent over $20 million on their roster. Won a championship first year with that roster.
Mm.
You know, took Ryan Day forever, but when he finally opened the checkbook, good things happened, and it's paying off now too because they're number one. You know, and they're undefeated at this point in the season, which in this landscape of college football now, that's pretty dang on good.
Right.
You know, but on the other side, it'd be a bad thing because if you pay the wrong players and just go off of talent, you get a lot of spoiled brats that don't care about winning, but just care about looking good so they can get to the next level or collect a check. Or you can get somebody that's entitled and just whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's two ways to look at it. But what I've learned is you can't bring the old school way of coaching and thinking into this landscape of college football. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've seen it with Saban, because Saban had to change how he does stuff. Not the core of what he did. Like, he's still gonna hold his players accountable, but the way he goes about things. Like, you might not think it's right to give a quarterback $4 million. That's not what you would have did old school way. You gotta make him earn his spot. New school way, make him earn his spot, but you still give him his money. You know, if you want to win, so like I mean, Dabo, we've seen it with Dabo. Dabo's trying to keep that same old school mentality of what he did that worked for him in the past. It's not gonna work. He just decided to dip into the transfer portal this year. You know,
Mm.
and we thought he was gonna do something, and he still had those same methods. You know,
Yeah.
so what I think is with these new with these five, a lot of them are warranted. Like, if you're losing and it's not looking good, like, to me, I know I give James Franklin a lot of flack. And I say the writing was on the wall. I think you could at least let him get another year, just because I mean his quarterback got hurt. Yeah, you lost to UCLA, whatever, but I mean your top your starting quarterback got hurt. I mean, you got a lot of fixing. You got a lot of fixing to do, but you're still a winning coach. You've made playoffs. You were right there in the thick of things last year. I think, to me, that should have bought him at least one more year after this year. Now, next year, if they was not getting it done, you let him go. To me, that was the only firing that I say I don't think you had to do. I don't think it was absolutely necessary. I just think that they were ready to compete and ready to get over the
Mm.
hump. Now, Auburn, absolutely. You haven't had a winning season really in the last 5 years. Like, I mean, it's been the same thing. Nothing has gotten better outside of like the defense or whatever. But winning games, you're not seeing that translate.
Mm.
Uh, Florida, same thing. Arkansas, same thing. Like, you didn't get over. You weren't competing with the top dogs. You were just doing enough to get by, and then you just did enough to show up.
Yeah.
Not purposefully, but I'm just saying, like, you did enough to make a bowl game, and then you didn't, just to say, all right, we made a bowl game. That was your argument. Then it was like, now you're just getting worse. You're not getting better. So, to me, yeah. But and as far as LSU, Brian Kelly, I can't stand Brian Kelly in the first place, so I'm not gonna talk on that. But not gonna talk on LSU. But you can't get over the hump either. You know. So is it um experienced coach or bust or whatever? I think track record got to speak for itself. What have you done? If you're hiring a coordinator, how has his offenses looked from year to year? Has they gotten better? Has they regressed? Have they stayed stagnant? What has they done? If their defense, has the defense been efficient? Has the defense been unstoppable? Has the defense dipped? Or if it did dip, how much did it dip? Like, prime
Mm.
example, like Georgia's defense from championship years to last year to this year, it's not been a steady incline. It's not even been really stagnant. It's been to me, it's been a dip, but they're still making plays. They're still getting the important stops. So if you were to hire a head coach like him, I can understand that,
Mm-hmm.
or you get somebody whose offense has been in increasing with yardage and passing and rushing. Then if the trajectory is trending upward or is getting better, or whatever, you take a chance on somebody like that. Did that person recruit well? Because the offensive coordinators go out and recruit. You know what I'm saying too. They see who they want. They go do that. Were you a part of bringing that elite player to your university, being a part of your offense or your defense? Like DJ Durkin, he's the reason why all of our defensive players came to Auburn. Because
Right.
he's been in their face.
Yeah.
So what have you done? Like, I don't care if you're proven as a head coach or not. What have you done with the position that you've been given? Kirby showed how great he was at getting his defense and getting his players, and how dominant that Bama defense was when he was there. Got to the head coach. He got to and then he took a job to where um he understood the assignment, right? Went to Georgia, from Georgia, know how to recruit in Georgia, know not to let the players leave the state. That's the big thing. Now for Auburn,
Yeah.
don't let the players leave the state. Go get the players from Georgia. Go get the players from Florida. Go get whoever you can get. You know what I'm saying? And offensively, how you project it. Lane Kiffin, same thing. Offense was good under him. You know, Offense did well. He got some good players. Got the Ole Miss. Ole Miss made Ole Miss relevant again. Ole Miss is in the conversation every year. I mean, Indiana coach, I don't know much about him, so I can't really say about him. Um, uh, but I mean, all these coaches, like, I mean, if you're gonna get just get the right guy who understands the assignment, has a proven record, whether it's head coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, can get recruits, can get people behind him. Right? Syracuse's head coach did great at Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing great at Syracuse. You know, I mean, they might
Yeah.
say he's had a rough year this year, but I mean, think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when have we talked about Syracuse? Like, consistently.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he made Syracuse relevant again. He knew how to take the old, mix it with the new, and make it work. You know what I'm saying? It's just don't nobody want to go to Syracuse because, as far as for football, at least, because Syracuse is a basketball school, you know? So, get somebody that understands the assignment, understands recruiting, understands what they need to do, and is not afraid of that task of the many hardships. You gotta have a level headed person that doesn't fold under pressure. Kirby don't fold under pressure. Lane don't fold under pressure. Nick Saban never folded under pressure. And the other coaches hasn't showed me that he folded under pressure. None of these coaches that are, winning has shown me that they don't fold under pressure. And if adversity comes, they overcome it. Prime example, Ryan Day, I know I give him a lot of flack. He's had a lot of adversity with not getting over the hump. He figured out a way to change and adapt. Got the national championship, first ever one of the 12 playoff team. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's proven head coach or bust. I think it's get it right or bust. Meaning, study who you getting. Don't just get somebody because of their name. Don't just get somebody, just because the fans are saying get this person. Get somebody that's the right fit for the job, that understands your program and how you want it to go, and that ain't afraid, and that's level headed and calm. Because whether you win or lose, it's gonna come with headache. Saban freaking lost to a small school his first year, and what did he do the next year? Became the goat. Became the start of his journey to becoming the goat. You know what I'm saying? Kirby, same thing. average. It was still at that same plateau that Georgia was at. And what did he do? Year or two later, got them to to the status of making playoffs and getting to the championship. Lost to Bama. Then what he do? Figured out what he needed to do. Had a bad season with COVID. What he do? He go fix the problem. Then what did they do? Win a championship. And then what did they do? Win another championship. So I think it's get it right. Study who you gonna get, and make sure that they're right. Vet them. Don't just pick them. That's my whole thing. Whoever the team is. Yes, that's how I look at it. What about you?
My God, that was a dissertation. I I genuinely think I mean for each of these programs, I mean it's really just man, you just like you said, you just got to pick the right person for the that's going to best fit not only the tradition and the program, but that's going to be able to really be able to motivate young men to get them ready for life, get them ready for the NFL, whatever they may choose to do moving forward. That's the person that you want to represent your program, and so track.
Let me ask you this.
I definitely agree with track record. Yes.
Go ahead. I thought you was done. My bad.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
was just saying
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I definitely agree with track record. Oh no, I was just saying I definitely agree with track record. But I will definitely say, you definitely want to mold like, young men, getting them ready for the real world and society, whether it be on the professional football level or just professional work level. But, they just need to be ready for life regardless. So, yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say for your team first.
Mm-hmm.
If Georgia was to go into a slump and they were just regular, right? Could you see anybody else coaching Georgia? The way, like,
You want me to
in
give
the
a
sense
name?
of, no, I'm saying not a name, but I'm just saying like
Oh.
that embodies what Georgia is, the traditions, everything. Could you
Mm-hmm.
see anybody coaching them outside of Kirby?
Um, with the So you're asking me this, like with the current coaching pool that's right now. Like, could I see another
Not
coach
even with
coaching
the
right now?
not with the pool, not with who's available. I'm just saying, could you see anybody else doing what Kirby has done?
Yeah,
Coaching like him, you know what I'm saying, getting his players to play for him like 110 miles an hour, making the adjustments like he does. Could you like and they hit a slump? Could you see anybody coaching? Because to me, I can't
yeah.
see anybody else coaching. I couldn't see nobody else coaching. That think
I
about
could,
it.
I
Kirby
could,
went.
I could definitely see. I could definitely see. And I have a person in mind. I'm not going to name the person, but I
No,
definitely have a
you
person in
can name
mind.
him. You can name him. You can name him.
I, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I will very well, cause I could see. Now, in a perfect world, I would love for like a person like Dan Lanning to come back or Todd Monken, somebody that has been a part of the championship culture who knows how to win at Georgia. So, if in a perfect world, I would want one of those guys to come back because they know Georgia. They've been rooted under the Kirby coaching tree. So that's a realistic world. Or no, not Sam Pittman. Lord Jesus, no. God, no.
So you think
No.
okay?
But
So
yeah,
you think that
Dan Lanning or
they embody everything Georgia does more than Kirby
yes,
would. Because if you
not
wow,
more, but they understand. Not, I wouldn't say
I'm
more because
not
I
just
think Kirby.
understanding. Because good,
No, no. What were you
good.
saying? I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't saying
Now I'm
anything.
saying because that's shocking to me because I couldn't see nobody else running Georgia successfully like
Yeah.
Kirby did. Like don't I can
No,
see
I
people because
could.
Georgia's Georgia, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But I don't see
Mm-hmm.
nobody doing it like he did. Because for one, look, think about it. Kirby loves Georgia, not just knows the culture. Kirby went to Georgia, played at Georgia, from Georgia. understand, and you know, was mentored by the GOAT. So me personally, I can't
Mhm.
see anybody else running the head. Now, Todd Monkey, I think he will be a great. He's a great offensive coordinator. He will be a great offensive coordinator in Georgia, but I don't think that he could run the ship like Kirby has successfully as
I
Kirby has done it, and as dominant as he's done it. Because
but
think about it, like, good,
I was just saying I don't think
good.
it would be an immediate impact like how how some other programs could be. But I definitely give it a few years. Let the coach really. Now I'm not gonna give the whole patience spiel like how Hugh Freeze gave. No, but I say give it a few years and let them really build up the recruiting trail and let them show like hey like we can actually develop players here and get them um, NFL ready or NFL potential.
But that's but
Then
that
yeah,
but
I
that's them
definitely
pro- but
say
that's them proving it. But I'm saying like with what they have done now, like I that's shocking. I mean that's cool to understand your thought process on
yeah
that because I
because they.
can't
I
see
mean you know
anybody
what I'm
else.
saying. It would because eventually is there is going to come a time where Kirby is going to pass the torch and you're whoever that person is that gets the reins they're going to have to be ready because of course Georgia fans are going to want to continue winning tradition and winning culture so
And who
now
see that's the
again in a
thing, and that's the
perfect
thing
world
with the but in a
I was
perfect
just saying, in
world,
a
what?
perfect world, I would love to see like Dan Lanning or Todd Monken come back to Georgia. Now, with Dan Lanning doing what he's doing at Oregon, I know that's not probably going to happen, but I don't think Todd Monken will be with Baltimore for too much longer. Like, I don't think he'll be in Baltimore, so he might want to come back to college and see, what kind of success he can have. So, again, perfect world, yes. Ideally, probably not. So, yeah,
So man, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool because I don't think
yeah,
nobody because for
yeah.
one, following Kirby would be a lot of pressure. Like kind of much like how DeBoer did with because I
Yeah,
still I mean I
at
like DeBoer as a
100%.
coach, but I still absolutely don't think that program. I wouldn't have saw him coming to Bama. I would say that I wouldn't have saw him coming
Yeah,
there.
nobody
You know.
did. Nobody
Now as
did.
far like
Nobody
I
did.
can't see anybody like I mean. Do I think Todd Monkey would be a great coach? I definitely think he would be a great head coach. But what I just don't see nobody running Georgia like Kirby had because Kirby's on fire for Georgia, not just a great coach. You know what I mean? Like I get Todd Monken understands winning. He's a great offensive mind, all of that. But when you're the head coach, like and you embody what Georgia is all about, meaning like because Georgia fans always talk about, you know what I'm saying, that grit, that grind and all of that type of stuff. Um
Mm,
Only one that I see in that is Kirby. Like to me, when you have former players lobbying for you, that's the only like you know what I'm saying. Like you Georgia bred from Georgia, played for Georgia, was great at Georgia, understands Georgia to a T, not just observing, but been in it is the culture. Like we see Kirby Smart, not Kirby Smart, but Kirby Smart every day. Meaning like we're
mm.
from Georgia. We see people with that type of vernacular, that type of energy every day. He to me, if he wasn't coaching, he would be a fan of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're
it's
right.
just that's
1,000.
it. Yeah. Like right now, I don't see nobody else coaching Colorado. Just how Dion has built his program, even though they're not playing great right now. You know, I don't see nobody else taking that reign because that's a lot of pressure. Although they haven't like had great success, they just he's built a culture to where it's like it'd be hard to follow, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. I just wanted to
All right.
see
Yeah.
what you how you pick your brain about that.
Yeah. Listen. I see. The wife has stepped in, so we just gonna hit these previews real quick. I just had three games, and then we had notables. So the three game previews were BYU versus Texas Tech. Going to be an insane game for this weekend. That is the game of the week for College Game Day. More than likely going to be our game of the week. That is the game to watch at noon on ABC. Two very great offenses that are going to be incredible to watch. I definitely recommend checking out what these two teams have to offer. Yeah, just insane, great game. Watch it, check it out. Texas A&M Mizzou. Another listen. I don't
But
know
you
who's
said
gonna sleep in
BYU and
Mizzou,
who?
but I know Texas A&M,
But you
BYU, and
said
Texas
BYU
Tech.
and who? Oh, Texas Tech. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
Texas
like,
Tech.
what
Yeah,
didn't you
yeah,
just say Texas A&M? I was like, all right,
yeah.
I got
No,
you.
no, no. But the next game is Texas A&M and Mizzou are playing as well.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Okay, okay,
I
okay,
was just
cool.
trying to
Yeah.
make sure.
So
I was trying to
I
make
don't
sure
know
you
what
ain't
we're
say
gonna
Texas
expect.
A&M the first time. I got you.
No, 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 no. I don't know what we're gonna get from Mizzou, but I know Texas A&M is gonna come to play. Marcel Reed has been playing absolutely out of his mind.
Didn't
That
Mizzou's
kid can
quarterback get
ball.
hurt?
I don't know how to pronounce it, but no, not that I know of. No, I
I
don't
thought
know. I don't think
it
so.
might have been somebody else. I got you. I got you. I
It
was
may
just
have been.
asking.
It may have been. He may have gotten hurt during the game, and it was maybe like a little minor scratch or something, but nothing that I've heard where he's going to be sitting out this
Minor
game.
crack. Got you.
Yeah, my little fender bender, little fender bender. But and also, if your wife is in the room, tell her LSU and Alabama. Um, she, I really don't think this game is going to go LSU's way just because of how things have been going and how Alabama has been playing. Um, yeah, I can't see that. I can't see it going LSU's way. I think Alabama really takes control of this game. I still have very high hopes for Gary Nussmeier and company and whatever else they may have planned. But again, Alabama has just been playing very well. Things really have went uphill since Florida State. So yeah, that's really all I have for the previews. Other notable games: Florida State versus Clemson. Don't ask me why I put that game. Auburn versus Vandy. Arizona versus Kansas. Indiana versus Penn State. Oregon versus Iowa, and Notre Dame versus Navy. Another great game that should happen with Notre Dame versus Navy as well. All right, let's hop into these game picks, brother. Let's get these folks home. All right, first game, Friday, 9 p.m., ESPN. Tulane and our favorite G5 team, Memphis, are going at it with each other. My brother, who you got?
I got Memphis.
We got Memphis. You know we taking Memphis. At 12 p.m., Indiana and Penn State. Who you got?
I got Indiana, man. I don't know Penn State. I don't know, but I got Indiana. I don't know about Penn State right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got. I would definitely be taking Indiana. Indiana is now number two in the country. They have definitely turned things around from last season when I called them my underrated team of the year. But yeah, this is 12 p.m. on Saturday on Fox. Might I add? Let's see here. 12 p.m. on Saturday on ESPN. Number five Georgia and Mississippi State. Who you got?
I got Georgia, unfortunately.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take my dogs. 3:30 on Saturday. ABC number three. Texas A&M number 19. Mizzou. Who you got?
I got A&M.
I'm definitely taking A&M on this one. We are going to rock out with A&M. 3:30 Saturday. Fox number six. Oregon. Iowa. Who you got?
Oregon.
We're gonna rock with Oregon. Yeah, just dominant team right now. But I will not be shocked if Iowa gets the upset. For this Saturday. All right, number four Saturday. SEC Network. Auburn, number 15, Vandy. Who you got?
I know who's gonna win, but I'm going with Auburn. I know who's gonna win, but
All right.
I'm
Hey,
die hard Auburn fan. So
Right, right. I got you. 7 p.m. on Saturday, ACC Network. Florida State, Clemson. Who you got?
Huh. I think Clemson bounces back because Florida State they just they forgot how to play football after they beat Bama. So
So I'm a go the opposite here. I'm gonna go Florida State for this one. All right, 7:30 AB 7:30 on Saturday, ABC LSU number 4 Alabama. Who you got?
I got Bama.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Bama on that one. One more after this one. 7:30 on Saturday on NBC Navy at number 10 Notre Dame. Who you got?
I got Notre Dame.
Notre Dame taking Notre Dame. Yeah, insane. Insane what Notre Dame is doing. But also Navy is 7-1 right now. But again, this will be Navy's first like actual competitive team they're playing against this season. So I just don't see things going out Navy's way for this game. Also, game of the week at 12 p.m. on Saturday on ABC. Number 8 BYU. Number 9 Texas Tech. Who you got?
I got BYU with this.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech. I'm gonna go Texas Tech guns up. I think I listen. Texas Tech gave a scare a few weeks ago against Arizona State and almost lost. But I think they may know what they got in store with BYU and they should win this game. So I'm gonna go Texas Tech with this one. All right, that's all we got for today, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we are back. Things have definitely been on a carousel, just like the coaching carousel, and definitely things have been looking a little wacky as we're getting into the closing half of the college football season. Also, Monday, November 3rd, college basketball is officially back, so we're happy to see that some upset happened. Florida lost, which is insane. So Florida is not looking too hot to start out the season. So yeah, we're really excited about that to be bringing you some insight breakdowns and analysis that we always love to do for college basketball season. Continue to follow us on all social media platforms that we may be providing, and yeah, that's all I got, brother. I'm just happy to be back after
I
2 weeks.
mean,
My
for
brother,
sure,
take
for
us
sure.
home, please.
Appreciate y'all tuning in and hearing me rant. You know, most of the time I feel like I talk way more than I normally do. But it's been been a lot that I've been building up. But we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Continue to rock with us. Continue to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know your thoughts about whatever we talking about, whatever the game, what you thought. You know, we don't care. We like the arguments. We like them. We like them. You know, good banter. Good banter. Um, but we appreciate y'all, man. Keep telling your friends. Tell a friend. Tell their auntie. Tell their cousin. Tell their grandmama. Them College Couch Podcast. Where it's at. War Damn Eagle. We out. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I